All right, my little Planet Zoo nerds. No time lapse today. That would have been such a mess to edit. I don't think I could have formed a coherent a coherent time lapse with all that footage. The deal was though, I kept changing the house structure. I kept changing the layout. I didn't know if I wanted to do elephants right here. It's kind of like, right when you get past the plains, or if I wanted to do giraffes. And ultimately decided to go with giraffes, and I think it was a good decision right here. And that leaves kind of like, a big swatch of area over here for the like the lowered elephant area. Still leaves a bunch of land maybe over here for the lions. You guys had some really good suggestions for this open little area right here as well. And remember last episode we welcomed our hyenas here, so they're doing good. Really good good kind of filler exhibit right here to lead over into the East Asian area. But yeah, this is kind of like what I've come up with for the giraffe, the reticulated giraffe enclosure. So you've got this elevated pathway that you could kind of walk out here and get a pretty good view of them. View from giraffe is okay from here, I guess. And went with the natural barrier, went with the split. We've got the chain link fence on the back side and over here, just kind of like at the at the top of this little hill, so you can kind of walk by and still see them. Got some shaded platforms over here for them to get under. This is a little building I just come up with, kind of like just a small little ranger station. They can park their Jeeps in a little office right there, kind of right by the main gate. The main little barn here, I didn't go full detail with it, but I did want to put some gates on it. And in here, I've just got some different little housing stalls and stuff, kind of like you'd see, a lot of times when they take them in there, they will kind of separate them. And especially like when the females are pregnant or babies are involved and stuff, they'll definitely separate them inside their little barn there. So got that going. Place the hanging feeders kind of over on this side. Wanted to try to coax them away from this water. That's why I've got the poles up with the rock work, and didn't put any trees over here for any shade. So you kind of like, the idea was, I want to keep them away from this little area and away from those rocks as much as possible. Have a little bit of an open spot here for them to get water, and as well as their little beach over here. And yeah, so this was a really interesting build, and like I said, it went through so many little weird variations, from the barn to the layout to just all kinds of changes. And I just kind of wonder, like, in the end, did this end up being the best the best solution or the best looking enclosure? I don't know, but this is the one I went with, and I think it looks pretty cool. Let's see how it looks like when you get down here, kind of like in the main little safari area, or the savannah area. See how it all just kind of looks like one big enclosure. The herd is growing pretty good here. Look like when you kind of come through there. I probably should have did a little panning shot, but minus the little bit of fencing that you kind of notice, it just kind of all looks like one big giant enclosure. And I think that's what we were going for. I think that's what a lot of you were kind of hinting at, to have this one big area but still have the the animals a little separated, because I didn't want all of these in here together. Maybe even be able to end up putting a couple a couple zebras over there with the giraffes, but I kind of wanted this just to be essentially the giraffe experience over here. So not with a bunch of zebras and wildebeest and all that running around. But you guys know what we probably move on to next. Another really fun animal, the African elephant. So that is something I'm really looking forward to. Got a couple things to do today. Got to get some shopping and stuff out of the way. But tomorrow and this evening, I think it's going to be elephant time, and I should have a lot of time to get in here and actually mess with it. And this is the pass holder VIP experience, the section over here, where they would take you out and let you feed them and stuff. Just a little more personal. kind of back out of the way of the main path and all that. So yeah, that is what I was thinking for that. So you guys will have to let me know how you think the little barn area come out. Like I said, I thought it was cool to have the little gates on it where they can shut them at night, and when they put them up, or if they have to quarantine them, now they don't have to, I figured they wouldn't have to take them like completely out of the enclosure. They can have a little veterinary center over here and maybe even on the back side, and it can all be done kind of like right here in their little house. So, and then we've got the main little entrance ramp right here. Let's see if they can actually go in there. I'm not sure. I haven't actually checked. So that just might be really fancy decoration here. Yeah, must be too thin. They can't really get up in there. So, but I mean, that's okay. We can still, they still have what their shelter counts underneath their little shade areas here. So, but it would be cool if I could get them to go in there. Maybe I could widen one of these a little bit. Maybe this one. And if it'll, if we can just get one little opening open enough to go in there, it'd be cool to see them walk in and out of there. But yeah, for the most part, I think this came out pretty stinking cool. Husninya. It's pretty cool. But yeah, and a couple of you guys were saying about rerouting. I think Jan said reroute the monorail. We'll just have to see. I might be able to like break it off right there and take it out over here, over into the elephant enclosure, and then maybe, kind of maybe circle it back around and connect right here. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's got a pretty good little path right now as far as being able to kind of like it, it winds along the spine of these different enclosures. So, I don't know. We'll mess around with it. Little hyenas, they're so stinking cool. When messing around over here. And then, of course, too, we've got our little East Asian area kind of ready to go. Got some cool plans, I'm thinking, for out that way. And of course, too, it's kind of neat how we've kept it. Like, see how this over here, like the more jungle vibe, more North American vibe. See how rich it is with trees and like foliage. But as you look out onto the savanna, as far as the African area goes, see how it's become much more sparse and not as many trees. And, that theme will carry over here with the elephant area as well. And then, of course, we will get much more dense once we get out into the East Asian area. Panda bears, tigers, maybe we'll do us a tiger temple, all of that. I think that worked out pretty stinking cool, just with the foliage kind of the dense going to the not so, going to the sparse from the very dense out here. I think that just really, really cool how we were able to kind of do that storytelling like that. And then, of course, if you're new, we've got our little town here that kind of leads you into the African area. Love how that turned out. And, but yeah, a lot of little nitpicky stuff left to do in Africa. We're definitely by no means ready to move out into the East Asian area quite yet. But we will get there. We're still rolling along here. I've got a lot of ideas kind of popping in and out. And we've got some more pronghorn blocking the path here. That's the only thing about them. Kind of blocking our little trucks here, but oh well, they're cool. And Henry, he was over here swimming earlier. Did he get out? Yep, he's out. He's taking a nap after his swim. So this is the grizzly bear. This is Henry's big exhibit here. He's got a little pond. And if you actually down in here, if you come down into his little viewing cave, you can watch him swimming around. And over here on this side is just like a little dry bedding area, elevated little path. But yeah, this is Henry's little exhibit. Then you've got the timber wolves, kind of are Henry's neighbor over here, and the bison's neighbor. Really, really fun exhibit to do on that. And over here is kind of like what I've been calling our Battle of the Plains statue, like little plaza centerpiece over here. Kind of like the bisons going against the timber wolves, the Battle of the Plains, if you will. And then, of course, we've got little Waylon over here setting up against his pond. He loves sleeping like with his feet in the water, I've noticed. So that is our little Formosan black bear in his little area. This whole little section is the, if you're new, this is the big, kind of like the North American dog leg here. So all of our North American little critters call home right back in there. This is the entrance area to it. So our little fishing village, just do a quick overview for everybody. Indian rhinoceros. Over here is our little Greater Flamingo Island here. Our gharials are part of the riverboat ride. Stopping the riverboats right there. And then we've got our bonobos. This is their little island out here. Really, really fun designing all that and watching them run and play on all this different stuff. Then our first actual animal in the park is our saltwater crocodiles. So they're really, really cool to just sit here and watch kind of swim around their little lagoon here. We've got like a little shallower tier, and then it kind of drops off to the deeper water. And this is the main plaza area. So this is where everybody comes in and kind of just, you know, makes their way around this roundabout and decides which way they're going to go. Over here is our restaurant, of course, bistro. And then we've got our Galapagos tortoises over here. Huge, huge tortoises. And then our the last thing I'll show you over here is our hippopotamus area and their little nature center. They're kind of over here messing around, taking a nap. Haven't seen any babies yet. I don't remember if I have the contraceptive turned on them or not, but might have to turn that off, see if I can get them to breed. And then the last thing is, yeah, our little our Western Lowland gorilla exhibit. So they have their little peninsula out here as well. And their little stuff there they like messing around with. But yeah, so that is our overview, guys. Like I said, if you're new, look back. I've got this all on the on a big playlist, so you guys can come in and check all of that stuff out. And this is what we're focusing on right now: is our African savanna type animals. So yeah, we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. Definitely looking forward to getting into the elephant exhibit. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. Definitely going to have to pour in some detail with that. And with that, I guess I'll leave you guys. So, but anyways, yeah, don't forget to smash that like button if you end up enjoying this video, and subscribe to keep up with more of this Planet Zoo mischief. And yep, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you. See ya.